Okay, it's Monday, February 27th. I'm buying some Home Depot 300 puts here at 396. This is on the 15-minute chart. You can see here the first bar kind of gapped up like the rest of the market and failed a little bit on our attempt to rally. We kind of failed twice, and now we're getting a 2 up, 2 down bar on the 15-minute chart. So I'm looking for it obviously to come down and fill in this gap a little bit to the downside. What I like about it is it kind of moved up on the gap and took out its liquidity right here. These two highs. We had a big gap down on earnings, so that you're kind of filling in kind of a gap area up here, and then immediately reversing early in the session. On the weekly chart, we had a big red bar, that gap, that really took out a range here to the downside and held. So it looks like we want to kind of work towards the bottom of that weekly bar sometime this week. And that's all the way down here. Let's see, that's at 292. On the monthly chart, we're in a 2 down month right now, and it looks like we'll, with a day to go, we'll end this month red, which should follow through lower into March. This target's all the way down here into, the two. Well, that's 260 or something like that. So, that's a bigger picture look on the downside of continuation. The weekly chart, we're just kind of at the halfway point of that bar, with a possibility of taking out the low of that week. And again, on this gap up, we took out, I like the way it took out those stops up here on this bar. It's kind of inside price action in here. And a lot of times when you fail to break out on the inside, you go to the bottom of that range. And the opening price action, again, tends to be showing us we want to head lower here, at least enough to set up a no risk trade. Obviously, for today, we want to get to the midpoint of that bar from yesterday. If that would be the ideal scenario. But if we just kind of hold this as kind of a red bar by the end of the day, we should follow through lower into, as the week goes on as well. So anyway, let's just see how this 15-minute chart unfolds. First target, I guess, would be here to the yellow line, which is the close of yesterday. At that point, you can kind of set up a no risk trade and see if we get to the midpoint of yesterday and kind of head lower overall. But that's kind of the overall, looking at the various time frames and what's unfolding, and just trying to play the downside here to Home Depot after a big gap down last week, that just kind of holding in here for now and has probability to head even lower.